So in this session, we are going to be, of course, discussing what is data science engineering. You might have heard of it, you might not have. You might have heard of data analysts or scientists, but maybe not data science engineers. So we'll get to that. We're going to be looking at the possible careers in data science engineering and some of the overlaps that we might face. We're also going to be looking at the areas of engineering and UTS specific courses, how to best prepare to study engineering at UTS. So what is data science engineering? So data science engineering, it's basically creating the infrastructure needed for data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. You can kind of get that just from the name itself. We focus on the technologies for collection, transmission, storage, and analysis of data. So currently I'm doing a cadetship at Transport for New South Wales. I'm working with a bunch of data engineers and I kind of see this in action. I'll use the example of Opal cards. I'm sure every one of you guys either have an Opal card or you've seen the little scanners, but the technology that is used to collect that data is what data engineers focus on. We collect that raw data, we transform it, we can store it some places, and we can also use that data for analysis for business outcomes, for better decision-making processes. And I'll get to it later, but that's where data scientists and engineers also and analysts, also come in. So the technologies we focus on can range from cloud storage, which is just a fancy way of saying internet, the computation to databases, which is something that our courses focus on a lot. Networking, which is another thing that we will be seeing a lot of if you choose to study data science engineering at UTS. Algorithms, following software engineering and data science principles. It's also one of the fastest growing professions. As we all know, we are living in the digital age. I think I saw on Sydney Seek, there were a bunch of job postings, and I'll kind of talk about that later on too. But it's definitely something that's in demand if that's what you are thinking of. Now we're looking at this hierarchy of data science, data engineering, and machine learning. I just want to note that this isn't a hierarchy of importance. We're not saying that data infrastructure engineers are all at the bottom, machine learning engineers at the top, and we're kind of sitting in the middle. It's more about showing you guys foundations of what we do and how we can build on that to achieve so much. So data engineers, we focus on not only the collection, but also the moving, the storing, the exploring, and transformation of data. So data infrastructure engineers focus on the instrumentation, logging, the sensors, external data, and user-generated content. So again, using the Opal example, so they're looking at the sensors that the Opal reader has. Data engineers, we are focusing on making sure we have a reliable data flow. We use, again, technology infrastructure that we build. We also build pipelines to move data from one place to another place. ETL, which is extracting, transforming, and loading the data. Structured and unstructured data storage, which basically means that we filter through that raw data and we kind of clean it into a way that we can actually use in the future. We take out any anomalies, any duplicates, anything like that. And then you have the machine learning aspect of it all, where there's more of the analytics involved and the metrics. We have the segments, the aggregates, features, and training of the data, which is something that data scientists and analysts do. Again, I'm not saying that data engineers are not involved in that. They are. There's a ton of overlap in all of these careers. And then, of course, we have the machine learning engineers, which look at artificial intelligence and deep learning, which is something I'm sure you guys have all heard about. It's kind of a hot topic right now. They also use testing, experimentation, and simple algorithms. It really shows that there's a ton of overlap here, and it shows you what we actually do with data. It's not just we're collecting data and we're looking at it. We are transforming it, we're exploring it. We're learning new things from it every day. And we're using data as an intangible asset now. So we're going to be talking about diverse career opportunities. So I just want to emphasize that studying data science engineering is not limiting you to just be a data engineer. There is a ton of scope. There is so much you learn from UTS that you can apply in other job opportunities, such as data analysts, data scientists, data architects, which kind of do a bit of all of that. Software developers, we do a lot of programming subjects, which shouldn't scare you guys. You definitely get eased into it. That was kind of scary for me. I thought it would be scary, but it wasn't at all. And I'll get to that later too. You guys can also look into big data platforms. Big data is something that is kind of another buzzword around. And of course, a data security consultant and data governance officers is just another one. There's just a lot out there. Looking at the UTS engineering courses. As I mentioned before, I am doing a double degree. I'm studying data engineering at UTS, and I'm also studying a Bachelor of Business, majoring in economics. We're focusing on data science engineering today. Courses with the asterisks in them, they are actually using up your elective blocks. Unfortunately, they can't be combined with other degrees. Data science engineering at UTS. To be a data engineer, you'll need to understand the whole data ecosystem as a whole within organizations, which is something that you definitely study about at UTS. The UTS course includes core subjects on data analytics, which is data science, coding, software development, networking, and system designs. So there's the electives that you choose kind of are pulled from that. So your core subjects aren't just your core subjects. They can be also implemented in your electives. So popular options chosen by students include subjects on artificial intelligence, machine learning. I have a bunch of friends doing both and they love it. I've heard very good things about those. Cybersecurity is also very popular, and image processing. Learning is underpinned by a thread of studio subjects that span the whole degree, where you get to actually apply your skills to challenging academic and industry problems, which is unique to UTS. I'll talk more about that later, but it's a really cool way to apply your theory to practice, which is something that is always so good because you can only learn so much from theory. When you get to actually apply that knowledge, that's when it actually sinks in for you. So the role of a rehabilitation engineer may include research to develop new technology, but also to make existing technology more effective. Fabrication of a custom device or a device modification, testing of equipment for safety and compliance to Australian standards, and suggesting worksite modifications. That's also kind of related. So looking at the course structure, this is if you were just doing the Bachelor of Data Science Engineering. If you were doing a double degree, it might look a little different, but this is basically it. So in your first and second year, you're more focusing on your engineering core subjects, such as engineering project management and design and innovation. Those are two of my favorite subjects. You will see a lot of other engineering students from other disciplines. It's a great way to kind of see the overlap in engineering subjects as a whole. Of course, you will have your data science engineering core subjects. Those include Introduction to Data Engineering, which is really fun, and Database Fundamentals. And of course, you can see that we have a bunch of fundamental studios, application, and professional studios. So the fundamental studios are basically, you get presented with a bunch of products, and you actually get to choose a product you wish to work on, and you find a team with the similar interests as you. So you spend the whole semester working with the product owners and your teams to develop this product. And I actually know a bunch of people that got scouted through these subjects. Some of them landed interviews, some of them landed internships just from this. So it's a great way to apply your theory in real life. And there can be industry outcomes from this too. Application stage is where you develop deeper knowledge in your major and area of specialization. You might find that you want to specialize in some other area, or you want to pursue a different path in data engineering, which I mentioned, you can be data analysts or scientists, and there's just so much scope out there. Practical experiences via studios. Studios can provide students with project opportunities to develop this as a range of professional capabilities. So you're not only learning about the product and your specializations, but you're also learning about this whole professional ethic. It's really fun having meetings with product owners, and you feel like you're working for them and you're working for the organization, and it really puts you in the mindset of working as a data science engineer. So you have your 4 elective subjects too. This could actually be if you wish to study an exchange semester overseas. We do provide opportunities for that. If that's something you're interested in, that's definitely something you should look more into. The professional stage you see here, it's basically a diploma in professional experience engineering practice. So they do 2 6-month internships, which I think I'll talk about in a minute too. But they basically do that sometime between their 2nd year and their 4th year. The honours component delivered is via in-depth research project. which gives the students opportunities to demonstrate what they have achieved in their degree program. So I'm doing honours. I'm looking forward to that. If it's something you do in your final year, known as your capstones. And all of our courses are focused around practice-based learning. That's something that UTS really emphasizes on, and it's something that really drew me into the university, but also the course. UTS's Learning Futures approach enhances technology-enabled and collaborative working. There's a range of opportunities to collaborate with students in engineering from different disciplines, but also in your own discipline. That's something UTS also focuses on, is your professional and personal development as the individual. It's not just about handing out content to you. We're going to be looking at the Diploma in Professional Engineering Practice. So it's basically when you complete 2 6-month internships. It's a great opportunity to get real industry experience before you graduate. And a lot of people actually get their full-time roles in their second 6-month internship. It's great to have on your resume just because it shows how much industry experience and knowledge you have accumulated over time. It's a great way to develop your professional skills, which of course are valued by employers. You learn a lot, and it's also a great networking opportunity. You meet a lot of people there, and it opens up a lot of doors, you will definitely find. You can also build networks with top organizations in the industry, of course. UTS provides a range of opportunities to network and to find these kinds of internships. We don't just kind of send you out there to find something on your own. We have a lot of preparation classes that help you build your resumes and your CVs. We have a lot of clubs and societies aimed at networking in a professional sense. So it's something that we definitely focus on too. I'm going to kind of talk about myself now. So I'm doing the Bachelor of Engineering Honours, majoring in Data Science Engineering and Bachelor of Business. When I tell people that I'm doing a double degree with Bachelor of Business, they're kind of taken back because they don't see the overlap between engineering and business. And initially, I thought the same. I was kind of just doing Bachelor of Business because I genuinely love economics and I wanted to just learn more about it. But as I was progressing in my degree, I really realized that there's a ton of overlap. For example, one of the classes I'm taking is econometrics. And in that, there's just so much regression analysis. There's a lot of economic data analysis. So you can see that data is not just limited to data science, data engineering, data architecture. It's bleeding into all these other courses and all these other areas in the industry because it's just such an in-demand skill. A lot of job postings, if you look through it, they'll all ask something relating to data analysis, experience, engineering. It's really something to look into. So I'm currently doing my cadetship at Transport for New South Wales. I have started that this year. I started applying in my 3rd year. To be honest, it was a little tricky to find an internship just because a lot of companies don't post data engineering internships exclusively as data engineering internships. You might find a lot of data analysis or data science internships, but if you look into their descriptions, it's exactly what data engineering is. And that's how I landed my transport cadetship, by going through that channel. A lot of my friends have found data engineering internships in their 2nd year. They found that the engineering practice preparation subjects that you will be undertaking before you do your internship really prepares us well for the internship and for the hunt for the internship, more importantly. I've been involved in a bunch of societies. As I mentioned before, it's a great way to meet friends, to network, to learn more about yourself. I've been involved in the cat society. I've been involved in the dog society. There was a bit of tension there, but it was always fun. I've been involved in the Women in Engineering IT Society, which is really fun. You'll always see them around campus having their events, and they're usually dressed in like businessy clothes, so they look very professional. Again, it's a great networking opportunity. I've also been involved in student promotional activities and peer networking activities, which is just one of the university's initiatives to help students transition into university and learn more about the university life. There is a ton of opportunities that you will find here at UTS for that. Another thing that some of you might be wondering is HSC subjects. You might be wondering what are the prerequisites for data science engineering, and I'm sure you'll be glad to know that there are none. And I mean that. I was a bit hesitant too because I didn't do any programming in my U12 or 11 subjects. I did maths, but I didn't feel too confident to pursue engineering. And that kind of threw me off. But I had actually talked to UTS about that, and they did tell me that there were no prerequisites and you are eased into everything. There's a lot of foundational courses. There's a lot of bridging courses. If you want to pursue, you can go for that. But it's all very smooth and you won't feel like you've been thrown in the deep end, which is what I was scared of. It wasn't like that at all. Yeah, as I mentioned before, why I chose Bachelor of Business to the engineering, I just loved economics and business, but there is just so much overlap, which I wasn't even expecting. So it's something definitely to look into if that's something you're interested in. I think that's it from me. So I'm just going to hand it back to Haley to continue the rest of this presentation.
Thank you, Cherry. That was great. Yeah, so I'm going to talk more about the overall how to get in and everything. So we're going to talk about adjustment points for UAC. So points can be added to a student's raw ATAR to give a selection rank. So pretty much you can have adjustment points capped at 13. And I know for engineering, there's like women in engineering, you can do the portfolio for Edge, which I'll talk about later. And then just the subjects and stuff that you do in HSC will also matter too. So these are the key dates, which are really, really important for you guys. There's a lot of scholarships that go on for lots of different types of things. I know there was a woman in engineering one. They have one for like lower socioeconomic schools. They have just normal ones. And you just have to kind of read what the prerequisite is to get into the scholarship. Open day is in August 27th. Mark the day. It's our first like on-campus one since 2 years ago because of COVID. The scholarship applications close in September. So then the HSC's exam happen, scholarship offers get released. And then the UAC offer rounds start. So there's going to be a few rounds. The first round's around December, I think, and then it will just keep going until end of February, I think. And then UTS autumn session starts in March. So UTS Early Entry, which was the EDGE program I was talking about. So you can use your year 11 results to enter UTS. So you're eligible if you're a current domestic or international onshore year 12 student. You can apply through UTS online application portal. So it's not UAC. It's on the UTS website. And applications open around June, July. The dates haven't been confirmed and close in September. So you get 2 months around to do it. And then you get provisional offers will be released on October before the HSC commences. And you must complete the HSC or equivalent to be able to get this offer. Student support, we have a lot. So bridging courses are offered if you guys ever think you have trouble with maths, physics, or chem. If you guys did general maths or advanced maths, a lot of people tend to be a bit scared and then don't think about engineering just because of that. You guys get this mathematics bridging course and it normally happens before the semester starts and it's like a crash course. So that will help in getting you to understand the next, the uni maths and everything. There's UPass too, and it's available for some subjects, mostly the bigger ones. And pretty much it's just a student that has done really, really well in that subject teaches you guys for like an extra lesson. And it's free and everything. UTS provides it. And it's really, really good. I learned so much for maths there and everyone uses it.